Hey everybody, it is I, GW Foley, and you are watching Foley Kills a Podcast, the only podcast coming straight out of my apartment. That's not even actually true. How's it going? It's been a while, and this is a little different for me. We're doing a video podcast now, where before my podcast, for those who don't know, was an audio-only podcast, which it limited me to some extent, but it gave me more opportunities to have a longer form podcast than this, I guess. I don't know. This is all new to me. And I stopped a couple years ago when my dog died because I was living a country song. And now I've decided it's time to pick up from the bootstraps of whatever and do a new podcast. And I'm keeping the name. The name is staying the same because I'm killing the podcast game. Or I'm going to kill the format and ruin it for everybody. I think it's probably more of the latter than anything else. But what can I say? I try. I try hard. I try hard, people. Try hard. Sorry. I'm going to limit me doing that to once an episode. Once an episode. Okay, that's it. No more. So, a little about me. Like I said, I was in the podcast game for a couple years, and then I stopped, which left a giant hole in my soul. Like, I miss podcasting. I miss talking to you guys and gals, or however you self-identify with my life and my friends and everything like that. So I've decided that I've bit the bullet and am coming to you with my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, that sounds great. A little about me for those who don't know and checking this out for the first time. By the way, thank you. I am a comic out of Rutland, Vermont, who is funny, I guess. I have been hurt. I have heard that I am funny. Sometimes I don't see it. You know, it happens. You're your own worst critic. But yeah, so I'm a podcaster. I'm a comic. I love rock and roll. I love pro wrestling. I love puppies. I love cheese. Cheese is a big one up there for me, especially mozzarella. I love mozzarella. Oh my god. I mean, that and Monterey Jack cheese. I I can't tell you how much I just love. Like I will eat bricks of mozzarella cheese and Monterey Jack. Like this is a cheese gut right here. This was made by cheese, fat and carbs. So yeah, I about this podcast and what I want to do with it. I want to do like things like this where I talk directly to the camera and the audience and tell you about my day or my week. How's it going? I want to interview my friends who are incredible. Like I said, I got rock and roll friends. I got punk rock friends. I got magician friends, comedian friends. I got friends that are just killing what they do. And if you don't know them, this will get your chance to get to know them, and hopefully that they will strike a fancy in your hearts as well, because they already struck a fancy in mine. I got really great friends. They're really awesome. A little about me, a little more about me, I guess I should say. Uh, I have a clutter, which is a issue where things go so fast up here that when I go to speak, it it gets choked up, and I'll often repeat words and do that thing where if I don't stop to slow down and think about what I'm gonna say, things get all jumbled and words mesh together like a nice alphabet soup of speaking, which coming into a format like this is not the best. I know that, so bear with me. I fucking don't be a critic and be like, well, he always just goes and ah and does the butters. I hate the butters. Ums and ahs annoy me, but I understand it. I get that trying to figure out what to say and you don't want quiet. Me, on the other hand, I don't mind quiet. I don't mind pausing for a second and going, oh, what should I say next? Gives people a chance to catch up to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Put down what I'm picking up, or strike that, reverse it. Picking up what I'm putting down. There we go. I'm gonna try minimal editing in this because that's the one thing that I hate with a lot of YouTube videos is they're so heavily edited and nobody's got time for that. I don't. Well, I probably do, but I don't want to. I like the rawness. I like the realness. There's something to say about getting it through the first take and going, God, that was shitty. That was absolutely shitty. Which I'll do a lot, and I'll do color commentary as I'm doing this, and say that was a shitty take, and I should do it over again, but I'm not going to. Yeah. The reason why I'm doing the podcast again is it felt like it's time. It felt like there was a need in my life, not everyone else's life, because there's a million podcasts to choose from, and what? Who gives a fuck about me? I don't. I mean, I do. I give a fuck about me, but if you bear with me, I think we'll create some really great things in the future. I'm looking for your responses and looking forward to talking with you guys about the show and things like that. Yeah, that sounds great. Yes, I look forward to talking to you guys. Yes, and girls, and however you self-identify. Did I use that one already? I don't know. I may have. Fuck it. See? There we go. But I've had some people in my life that have really been big influences on me. The first is Kevin McTaggart, who does the McTaggart Attack podcast, where you can find it on wherever you download podcasts. He does it only audio now, but he is awesome. He's a great guy, and I love listening to his podcast. And just some of the things he says is really funny, and his work ethic has made me go, I can do that. I can achieve mild success with a podcast. Mild being the optimal word there. I don't expect this to get millions of views, and if it does, holy shit, what are you guys doing with their lives? The the second person that I need to really shout out for making me want to do this is Mike Gray from Maine, who does another podcast called Gray After Dark, where he just started up recently and does. I hate the word rant because all podcasts are rants of some sort or another. Somebody's ranting. But he talks about how the things going on in his life and shows and stuff like that and little things here and there, which he started back up, which he stopped his podcast originally around the same time that I stopped mine, and he started it back up, and I was like, you know what, good on him. I can do that. I can start up. I can do something also. And well, there's a couple more people. This is going to be a shout out episode. My friend Pierre Vachon, it actually does like 3 or 4 podcasts. You can find him on Anchor. You can find him on Spotify, wherever you find podcasts. He does Where's the Kink with Miss Rebecca. He does one called The Wireless Cantina. And I know I'm missing some. But he's absolutely incredible. And he puts in a ton of effort. And it just makes me want to be a better podcaster. And finally, I need to thank Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming, which, if you don't know who Hickory is, check him out. He is a magician from Vermont, a really good friend of mine, and he does a couple different shows where he does game streaming. He does music reviews. He does soda reviews, beer reviews, and the most important show, because I'm a part of it, is the Drunken Under Quarantine show. The Drunken Quarantine show is such a fucking blast, guys. If you haven't seen it, you need to. It's such a great show, and he puts in so much work for the show, like finding guests, finding topics for the show. He does all his own graphics for the show, which is incredible and really makes me want to step my game up. You know what I'm saying? He is phenomenal, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a part of the show. I'm saying this because it's truthful. Is that it is by far the best show that I've ever been a part of. It is so much fun, and we just hang out and drink and talk shit about things, which is the best feeling in the world. But doing that show made me realize that I should bring my podcast back, because there's certain times that I don't want to say more time, but like I want to dive in deeper to certain things that we talk about. And I figure a format like this, I will be able to do that. But yeah, check out that show. You can find it on Facebook if you look at the Wall Mill Comedy Club, or Hickory TADU on Facebook, or you can find it on Hickory TADU, the Drunk and TDAU. Gotta get that right. On Facebook, or on YouTube, where we live stream there as well. And the crowds are great. They're interactive, and I absolutely love it. It's such a great show. Like I could sit there and suck this show's dick. Like, it could be a dirty dick, and I would just be like, oh, this is so great, so fantastic. This podcast is not kid friendly. I I guess I should have said that in the beginning. Like, if you're watching with your kids, I'm sorry. You shouldn't see a grown man flashate the air. But you did. Live and learn. I just lost 5 viewers. Let's see, what else? What else? Yeah, that's it for the recap, man. I've, I, oh no, that's not it. Um, I'm a full time college student. If that's any fun for you guys to know about my life, I don't have a job. Going to school is my occupation, which is, how do you say, stressful at times. Um, I'm going to do things like video editing and graphic design, and hopefully that stuff will help me in my future because what I was doing with my life was not fulfilling enough for me. Um, I mean, it was fulfilling, I guess. Uh, I just I felt like I was dying every time I went to work, and that's never a good feeling. Um, Unless that's your thing, I'm not gonna blame you if it is. But yeah, man, like that whole. I always felt like I know there's more to life out there. I know that and with that job it felt like that was the only thing out there. That was the only thing that I could do, and it's so freeing now that like the world has opened up to me, and there's so many possibilities of things that I can do now or will be able to do in the future that just if I stayed where I was, I wouldn't have had. So going back to college has been a good thing for me. Uh, it's weird being 40 because often when I think about going back to college, I'm like, did I make some major misstep in my life to where my midlife crisis is going back to school? Like, I didn't buy a fancy car. I didn't buy. I didn't dye my goatee black and wear tight muscle shirts, but I decided to get an education. Is that weird? I think that's kind of weird. Um, so yeah, I that's what I do all week long is go to school and learn and do things, which is amazing. I'm very blessed with my family, who has been a great support system for me. They they have really supported me through this whole endeavor, which I don't know if I would have been able to. I would have been like, you need to find a job. You shouldn't you really shouldn't just go to school. You should find a job. But no, they said do it. Fucking get at it. You be the best you that you can possibly be, and I've needed that. Because I know the first time that I tried college, which was over 20 years ago, it it did not end well for me. Um, I I literally not I didn't fail out, but it came pretty close to it. I was not emotionally ready to do college, which a lot of people don't talk about. They talk about, oh, you go to high school, then you go to college, and the things that you learned in high school will move on and carry on. And I just wasn't ready for that transition of being self reliant and being by myself, doing homework. I never did homework. Of course, I didn't do homework in high school either. So now I do. And remember that, kids. Do your homework. Um, Yeah, man, and it's so weird because all my classes pretty much are kids that like I'm old enough to be their father, and hearing their takes on the world, which is astounding. I'm like, sometimes I just kind of go, you really need to get out and learn some more. You need to see the real world for a little while and step away from the school thing and work some shit job where you're scraping muck off the bottom of a fry later for minimum wage, and then come back to college and realize, oh, I got pretty good here. That's that's my thought on it. Um, yeah, so I'm going to school. Uh, that's I guess it's a heck of an endeavor. I don't know. It's it seems crazy. Like I'm still coming to grips with that. I'm going to college. I feel like a Descendants album and Call Me Milo. Um, yeah. Let's see what else. Fun thing for me for today is I almost died. That was amazing. I was turning onto an intersection, and saw a car pulling into the intersection. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got time. And this truck that was in the other lane, like 4 lanes of road, two on each side, and this truck was speeding in the lane, and I didn't see him because he was moving fast. So I came out, and there he was, almost creamed me. That was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Where I didn't think I'd be able to make the show. I thought I was going to be in a hospital, but I did it, and I'm here. So good things all around. That's it. Did I talk about interview? I think I talked about interviews. Talking about my friends. Yeah. Well, if you made it this far, thank you very much, and hopefully you will come back to watch another episode where I don't recap as much and I actually go over things that I want to talk about. But I think this was a good episode. Good start. A good appetizer for things to come. And if you don't watch after this, fuck you. What are you doing? What else you got going on in your life where you can't spend a couple minutes dedicated to a guy talking into a camera? I don't know. I'm kidding. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Cough every time. Thank you very much, guys, for paying attention to me and giving me the time of day. I truly appreciate it. And most importantly, stay lovely. Thank you, guys. Bye.